Alright guys, and welcome back to more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. It has been nearly 7 months, almost 7 months, I want to say about 6 months. We started this playthrough back up in April. It's been a long time coming, but we're finally about to be done with Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations, so let's just do it! Pearlie was also stuck on the inner temple side that night. The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up. Bruh. Who's this Pearlie? That's my little cousin, Pearl Faye. So when did you hear about this? Oh, just a while ago when I was in the medical office. I'm terribly sorry, but what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. What? Come on! Pearlie would never tell a lie. She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be. Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath. Ha! The prosecution has no objections. We believe the witness, Mr. Godot. Let's just move on to the cross-examination. If the defense has no objections, this is highly unusual, but, well, Mr. Wright, let's get this cross-examination started. After the incident, Pearlie was also stuck on the inner temple side that night, that's right. The next morning she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep. They actually let her use the words of someone else. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. Let's press this. Hold it. So it was your first time on the inner temple side, Mr. Godot? That's funny. Am I imagining things, or did the defense ask me a question? Do I look like the witness? Mr. Wright, please save your questions for the witness. What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. Those are your words, Your Honor. Touche, Mr. Wright. Oh well. What do you have to say, Mr. Godot? Hot nights even hotter coffee. That's what I always say. If it hadn't been for this case, I never would have visited there. A freezing cold temple in the mountains. I think I'll pass. So he had never visited Hazakura Temple or the inner temple, huh? You want to say something, Trite? In any case, I have to find a crack in Godot's armor. While I cross-examine Maya, that is. Very well, please go on with your testimony. After fixing the bridge, the police came over to the inner temple side. Why the fuck you lying? Why the fuck you lie? Even if we get a game over here, it's not like... Isn't it? Wow, dude. If we think about it, if we get a game over here, is that really a bad ending? Everybody gets away happy. Except for Miss Dono. She died. For no reason. She literally died for no reason. Unless we figure this out. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up. That's strange for him to find Pearlie first. He cheered her up. That's what Pearlie said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot. Here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict. Ha! Cut it out. You're making me blush. This guy's really beginning to get on my nerves in more ways than one. The truth is, there aren't that many places to look on the inner temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-tooth comb. So I decided to carry out an investigation in my own way, Godot style. And then I'm the same way. I like to hand down verdicts in my own way, judge style. Maybe I should ask some questions, Phoenix style. Cheering Pearls up Godot's investigation, maybe. Yeah, let's see what the hell Godot's investigation was doing. You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything? It looks like my investigation went about as well as yours, Trite. After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern. Well, I didn't miss it, so speaking for yourself, Goggles. The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall. Beauty? Misty Fey, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western taste. Western taste? Could he find a stranger way to describe gravy? No way! We already got him! We already got him! Because Pearls didn't do that until she did it before the bridge was fixed. So from there, you headed from the prep room. Oh, you headed for the prep room. Wait a sec, what did Godot just say right now? I think I just found this proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the inner temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Elise Donum. Wait a minute. Next morning, he said that he was talking about the poster, right? If he was talking about the poster, he shouldn't have even known about that, right? His first time, he claims to say that his first time getting there was after the bridge was fixed, right? But the thing is, he shouldn't have even known that poster was about freaking Misty Fey, because the poster should have been covered in gravy at the time. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearly first and cheered her right up. Okay, but here's the question. Where do I press that at? He found Pearly first and cheered her right up. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearly first and cheered her up. That's when Mr. Godot arrived. No, because we know for a fact if he did arrive there at the inner temple for the first time, he should have noticed that the damn thing was filled with gravy. Misty Fey's image is obscured with gravy. Do I show the hanging scroll here? Or do I do it on this? I'm gonna do it on the one where I found it. Oh my god. Please don't tell me that's gonna kill me. Oh my god. How exactly are the evidence of this statement just not related? They aren't, are they? Oh my god, dude. I thought just because we pressed him on that... we pressed him on that statement, or we pressed Maya on that statement, and then he revealed that information, so I thought we press him, or we present that evidence right there. Damn it. I don't think that won me any points with the judge. I got one more screw up and I ain't got time for this shit. I'm trying to beat this game, dude. I got one more screw up before it's game over. Oh my god. Bridge to the turnabout from save point. Alright, here we go. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. I still feel like we should present the hanging scroll, but I could be wrong. Fuck it, I just saved it. I just breathed the most heaviest sigh of relief ever. Mr. Godot, the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the inner temple was long before the murder took place. Why do you say that? Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall. The hanging scroll? But Mr. Godot is right. That scroll shows a picture of my mom. Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this. What's that wonderfully delicious smell? The morning after the crime, someone covered the poster with gravy. Gravy? But why gravy, Nick? Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have seen, or you wouldn't have even a way of knowing it was Misty Fey. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Wait a minute, Nick. Yeah? Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look at the top. There's a crest there, but how would he have known that? He's not a big fanatic about the Fey family. He's talking about the mark, yeah. Then you could have guessed that it was a picture of Misty Fey on there. True, but Mr. Godot described but was underneath like this, clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western taste. Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the inner temple long before the crime took place. Got him. Can I ask you just one little thing, Trite? What is it? This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed because he read that letter beforehand. That's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak out into the crime scene. Of course Mr. Godot knew about the plan. Huh? What did you say? Gavel! Oh my god. I can't make any mistakes, but I'm pretty sure it's that letter. Because they said the letter was already open. This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fay authored the plan for her daughter's future, and these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fay Manor for a year. Haha. However, by the time Little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed. Unsealed? Yes. The killer had... Does Pearls live by herself? The killer had... I need to know this. She ain't got no dad. Her mom in jail. Who the hell is keeping... Unless Maya lives with her. Unless Maya lives with Pearls. That's the only thing I can think of, but still. Is Pearls living by herself? I don't know. But anyway, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls even found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the Inner Temple. And you're saying this crafty killer is me? You bet I am. But you just said that the instructions were hidden. That's right. Mr. Godot couldn't have known when the instructions were hidden. If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out. And when was that? During a visit. A visit? Morgan Fay told her daughter Pearl about where the instructions were hidden. That's right. During one of her visits to the detention center. That's correct. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden. Eavesdropping on the visit at the detention center? Yes, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Yeah, I was saying this earlier. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot. He ain't gonna say nothing either, because we know he right. I mean, he know we right. I'm switching up words. Mr. Godot, you're under fire again. Shots are being fired. Phoenix is popping off. This murder could have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you were the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder. So basically, what you're saying is he could have prevented all this. He could have prevented this murder if he wanted to, but he didn't want to do it. Humans are afraid of the dark. And yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Just think about it. Godot could have had a talk with Pearl saying, listen, this letter, I know you respect your mom, because... And here we are, guys, back with more Phoenix Wright. I apologize for that nonsense, but again, my computer, I can't wait to get rid of it because my new one's on the way, and this one keeps acting up on me. Anyway, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee. Sorry for always asking, but what does that even mean? It means there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in the case eavesdropped on the conversation. Oh my god, give me a second, guys. Dude, what is happening with this computer? Okay, never mind, I'm just tripping. Anyway, let's get back to it. My computer's tripping me out. Anyway, on the conversation during the jail visit, where he learned of a hidden plan for a crime, after discovering the plans, he hid in the inner temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect his witness. That's right. If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. Got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her. This whole scene could have been prevented. What you see, I am certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress, he says. The killer's behavior is certainly extreme. for lack of a better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect his witness's life, his behavior is still a little too unnatural. However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs. I knew it! You figured it out, haven't you, Nick? Maya. I guess you were doing your best to cover from Godot. For the same reason, huh? Maya doesn't even know Godot all too well, like, why? Am I missing something? Why is she protecting him so hard? It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you. What's this? There's one person who oh, what? Oh my god, one person that ties you and Maya together inextricably. Mia. I forgot about that. They were dating, right? I completely forgot about that. There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she's Mia Fey's only sister. Mia Fey. You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney. Wait a second. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney? He was. With your honors piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Godot, Diego Armando. His real name is Daigo Umahara. Isn't that right? The beast who won 2 Evos in a row. The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago when I bodied Justin Wong. Diego Armando, that name rings a bell. It should, Your Honor. All this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in Kirk, the tragic outcome left a deep wound. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise, but in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense lawyer. It's my fault! It's all my fault! Mia, you can't cry yet. He broke the damn glass. The only time the lawyers can cry is when it's all over. Because I'm Diego Armando. You gotta roll the R's. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients. That pure sweet heart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia. Mia and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. And one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria. Ah, I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned. Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee. Some newspaper at the time called it a murder, but very little information about the case was released to the press. But you weren't dead at all. No official reports were actually ever called it a murder. I was just in a deep coma. When did he wake up? My body shut down and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. Lost my sight and all of my hair turned white due to the damage it caused. That's terrible. That's terrible. Apparently it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years have passed since I drank that poison. Then one morning my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee. 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years? The worst possible news was waiting for me, Mia. Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I had. The woman I love had been murdered, and the woman I loathe had been sentenced to death. The woman you loathe, the one who had spiked my scandally hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh, Ha! Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up. That's so sad. For someone like me, for someone who had slept away their best days, there were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor, because I'm Godot. If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons? The first was you, trite. Me? If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, me and Faye would have died, much less the way she did. You were the only one who was there to protect her, but you let her die. It was all your fault. It wasn't like that, bro. I wanted to see for myself what kind of man you really were. So that's why you became a prosecutor. My other reasons for living, she goes by the name of Maya Faye. Huh? You mean me? You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when the Korean village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Faye was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her. That's how you overheard Pearl's visit with Morgan at the detention center. I knew that the time was drawing near. As I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought I could do that. I could keep that girl from being caught up in it. That makes sense. If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out. Exactly. She never would have helped out. Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices. Iris of Hazakura Temple and Misty Faye. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall in my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Faye. But how did you contact my mom? She had been missing for almost 20 years. Officially, yes. What? What do you mean, officially? She changed her name, I guess? You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government. What? Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. I don't remember. She said that the Master of the Korean had great authority. Even without her official position, Misty Faye still wielded great influence. The police have been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor. So my mother was cooperating with you. Man, Edgeworth could have been and found this out, dude. Don't ever forget. No matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you. I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you, well, look at her staff. The one with the sword in it? This BS. You telling me they couldn't find a more peaceful way to deal with this? The day the plan was about to be carried out soon enough came. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then. Just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Faye if necessary. Even if it meant paying the ultimate price. Mother. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Drama! That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan. You mean Pearls, don't you? We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne. Well, Pearl, what are you gonna do tonight? Well, the same thing I do always. Try to take over the world. No. If you like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together. We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan, but she never showed up. She was worried and followed me to the inner temple. That was the thing we were most afraid of. And that's why Mr. Faye had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body. Why didn't you just prevent them from going there? That doesn't make sense. Why didn't you just prevent them from going there and do some communication? Communication is key, my nigga. If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself. As Master of Karain, Misty Faye's power was supreme. But that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl Faye wouldn't be able to. What is this? My role in the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya. That's why I hid myself at the inner temple. Just in case you needed to be safe from Dahlia Hawthorne. Godot. Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to, Trite. Huh? There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense lawyer. But you're going to have to do the rest yourself. Gavel! The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only two possible suspects right now. Maya Fey, and I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Godot. Obviously, we know who. Well, Trite, if you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own. Maya. In the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Godot. Protect him from this phone call. And protect him from this subpoena. I can't do it. I can't testify. He's the man who put his life on the line to protect Mia and me. Maya, I know that. Nick. But even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify. Testify. Your testimony, please. This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything, because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips. I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick. Gavel! Alright, young lady. Tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder?